What's going on there, YouTube? This is ODC, that's me, and I'm back with another action figure review. Sorry for the delay on this guy. I just want to get the new wave of Marvel Legends out of the way first. And so now here we have my review of the DC Collectibles Arkham Deluxe figure of Solomon Grundy. I was not expecting him to be this big. I knew he was going to be big, but I didn't know. I thought he was going to be around like maybe Killer Croc big. But then when they released his size, he is mammoth, and he's actually, in certain ways, he's larger than Darkseid. I wouldn't say height-wise because they're pretty much almost the same height. But I would say shoulder length, he's much more broader. Much broader? He's got a much broader, yes, shoulder length than Darkseid. Darkseid's got a little bit more of a narrow shoulder. So, yeah, I mean, this guy is huge. He is 13 inches tall as I reach for the box because it's just as big as the Darkseid box. Sorry, I'm like staring at the box right now when I should be paying attention. He's got loads of detail on him. He looks really great. I believe he's going for around $74 to $80 on certain websites. I spent around $74, and then with shipping included, and well, not included, but then plus shipping and stuff. So he is expensive. So. I almost actually wasn't sure because I really wanted to get the Collect and Connect Solomon Grundy, but for some reason, I don't know why. It's probably because maybe now that this guy's out, the price will drop of the Collect and Connect Solomon Grundy. Hopefully that happens. But as of right now, he's going for like anywhere from $95 to over $100, which is a lot of money for a much smaller figure that's supposed to be, in my eyes, a little bit bigger. I would have appreciated if the Collect and Connect Solomon Grundy was bigger. But with that being said, I just wanted to say that really quick. If you're going to choose one of the two to get, I would definitely go with this version. He's cheaper. He's going to be like $20 cheaper. I actually, it's a funny story, really quick. I actually picked up a Collect and Connect Solomon Grundy, so I'm going to sound like a hypocrite right now, but he is one of the figures on my list, and if you don't know about the list and you're just tuning in to this review, I have a list that I have devised, a list of figures that I have a goal to reach. And he's one of the figures on the list. It's basically a goal of mine to collect every single DC UC style action figure. So he is one of them on the list, so I had to get him. But I actually got him for a really good price. I got him for $70 shipped, which I think is a very good price. It's $30 cheaper, and you know, if I still had to choose 70, this guy's around $70, and the Collect and Connect figure, if they're standing side by side and they're like, oh, they're both $70, I'm still gonna go with this guy if I had to choose one. And he's just got a lot more going on. Sure, he lacks articulation, but he makes up for it in all this awesome detail, and he's got a extra point of articulation in his chest, which I will show you if you don't know about that, but I'm pretty sure everybody knows about it by now. But yeah, let me pause. I'm going to show you actually, you know what? I'll show you the packaging first, and then we'll get to all the size comparison. So here, really quick, here's his box. Boom, says Solomon Grundy on the bottom. On the side's got the side art of the figure itself. There it is. Sorry for the bad lighting. It does say approximately 13 inches high. On the back, it shows another picture of Solomon Grundy and the other figures that you can get. Titan Joker, Killer Croc, and Mr. Freeze. So, there is another picture on the side with his chest opened up. And let's get this out of the way because it's not really that important. Bye! And actually, I'll bring Grundy back in here, but I'm going to do a bunch of size comparisons, so I'm going to pause it, and I'll be right back with his first size comparison.
Grundy no like you. Grundy think you too big. Grundy only like when he bigger than people. Well, let me tell you something. I'm Darkseid, and I rule.
Okay, enough of that. That was a little conversation between the two. You guys, you calm down. Get some rest, because you look like death. Literally. And you, just tone it down a notch. You're a little roided up. Anyways, so back to the size comparison. They are pretty much the same height here. So, I mean, I think Darkseid might have him by a little bit if I push both the heads back as much as I possibly can. He might have him just by the little notch up here on his helmet, if you want to call it that. But pretty much they're the same size. If you put them side by side, and I got to back them all the way up, you can see that Solomon Grundy has a much broader shoulder than Darkseid here does. So there you go. There's your size comparison with Darkseid. So here is another size comparison, which I'll do. And here's another large figure. I'll just bring in Wrecker here, since he's a... So there we go. There's Wrecker. He's much taller than Wrecker. And Wrecker's pretty tall. And then I'll just bring in... Yeah, I'm just going from the guys that are just kind of laying around here. And then I'll go to Black Panther, which is around... there, come on. There you go. So he's oodles taller. That's right. Oodles taller than Black Panther. So there you go. Oodles. Word of the day. Ah! Sorry, that was my Pee Wee Herman. I'm not sure how loud that was, but I apologize if I just blew out your eardrum. So anyways, back to the figure, because I'm just going off on a tangent and having fun here. Too much fun, you know. So anyways, Grundy has a ton of, I would say they actually improved on his articulation here. I would say it doesn't have a ton of articulation, but he does have a ton of articulation for a large figure, in my opinion. He, let's just go through it real quick, and then I'll get to the points I was trying to make. His head does swivel over here, and it does look down a little bit and up a little bit. So this is all the range of motion you're getting with the down and up. His arm, I'm sorry if I'm shaking the camera, but he's kind of heavy, so it's kind of a pain to lift him up. But his arm seems much smoother when you move it than the Darkseid figure or the Killer Croc. It just seems much smoother and much easier to move. His bicep swivel doesn't feel so stuck. His maybe still the elbows. His elbows a little bit easier to move than Darkseid's. His chains on his wrist here they do move on their own, and he does have this kind of like weird diaphragm joint for his wrist, but it does swivel and it does pivot back and forth, so you can get him into a nice gripping, like if you want to have him holding a rock over here and have him whipping it at somebody. I haven't really tried to balance him on one foot yet. I don't think he can really do that, but I bet you if you maneuver the figure enough, you probably could get him in a running position. But his leg also goes out here, about that far, so not a great range of motion there. Sorry, I'm shaking everything. I'm sorry. It does swivel forward. It doesn't really go forward like Darkseid's does. It swivels to the side, and it's a very nice easy bend at the knee and no ankle articulation. So no boot swivel, no nothing like Darkseid had. But he does have this extra point of articulation, which I'll get to right now, and I'll zoom really close because I don't want this review to be forever. Here's his chest piece, which is removable, and he's got these kind of little tabs that stick out, and he's got these tabs over here. You just have to line them up. Very simple. You can move his coat out of the way to do that. But here is the outside, and you see some veins in his pecs and stuff like that. And you can see his rib cage cut. It seems like it's cut or broken. And you can see some nice fleshy material in there. It's pretty cool. And then obviously you have the removable heart, which here that is. Come on, focus. There you go. See some nice, name all the ventricles. Can you do that? Can you name all the ventricles? How many ventricles are there in a heart? But here's the inside of his chest. It's pretty basic. It's kind of very similar. You can see his liver over here. You can see a little bit of a large intestine. And then you got your lungs on the side over here. And then you get your heart in the middle. The only gripe I think I have with this removable heart situation is that sometimes you kind of have to really press it to sit properly in the chest. Can kind of be a pain, but I mean if you push it enough times it just kind of sticks there. So I think it's cool that they gave us a removable chest, very accurate to the video game. Pretty nice, I like that. But I could see over time, now this is a gripe of mine, I could see over time that this chest piece keeps falling out and you eventually maybe possibly lose the heart. And I wouldn't want something like that happening, so that might just be one of my gripes, but other than that, I really don't have any other kind of gripe. He's a big figure, he's not meant to move around, he's supposed to be a nice, beautiful display piece, and I think they nailed it with that. And with that being said, I want to show you really quick, just his coat is textured, it's kind of like that Trapper Keeper noise. Yeah, Trapper Keeper. But he does have this nice torn suit, and he does have the signature roped belt for Solomon Grundy. No boots, just bare feet, and yeah, very menacing face. Let me get really close there with the face. And then I'm pretty much going to wrap it up here for the this review of the DC Collectibles Arkham Deluxe figure, removable chest, all the above Solomon Grundy figure. He's definitely worth the $70. If you're on the fence of breaking the bank and you already have the Collect and Connect and you didn't the Collect and Connect Solomon Grundy and you didn't spend big money for it, maybe you want to pass on this. But if you don't have them both, like I do, like I just recently today acquired the Collect and Connect Solomon Grundy. I've had this guy for about a week and a half maybe, and yeah, I would if you have to choose one, the point I'm trying to make is pick this guy. I think he just works better, and he might not be in scale with your DC UC figures, but in my opinion, if you were to choose one, this would be the guy for me. So if I had to rate this figure, I'm probably going to give him a 9.5, the closest I can give to a perfect figure. Like I said, this could be a big problem in the future, just over the ravages of time, this not sticking the way it wants to, because there's no clips or anything, it just kind of sits there in these little grooves. But I could eventually see dirt or dust or particles building up in those grooves and having it not want to stay there. So with that being said, I'm sticking with 9.5. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Sorry for such a long review, but he's a big guy. And yeah, I will see you guys on the flip side.